Alright, now all that the wall trenches are dug, which I might add, to me personally, is the worst part of this. I mean, it is just brutal going in there and keeping this steered correctly, pulling it over, forming the trenches that make the walls. Like I said, you don't want to bust through, but it's just years of grinding. I know about how far to push it. Because remember, when I go in there with a big burr and start leveling, I'm going to move it again. I don't want too much protruding, but at the same time, you want to get the job done. Now it's time to dig a little deep on the roof. Since I've already formed that trench, I'm going to form the other one. I'm going to move the camera right here a little bit and try to zoom in and let you see. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy here. I just want to go down. Alright. Oh! About that, my daughter just walked in here behind me and scared the fire out of me right when I was talking to you. Anyway, I formed a trench right there. I put heavy pressure and then light. Now we're going to have to go around the corner. And this is going to be really hard to film right here. I will give it a shot. Sometimes I get in these corners, it's not very easy without getting my gloves all in it. But anyway, I'm going to start. Notice that I'm staying away from that push rod wall, because they've been opened up to 1 inch. So I'm just going to try, like I said, alright, I got my trench dug right there. Yes, sir, I got it about where I want it. Now I'm going to come out here to the side, reposition camera, and I'm going to kind of lightly pull it around. Now, I believe I mentioned earlier, the guy who ported this head originally, he must have ported it to the blue stripe, or what's known as a 1204, because I still had some lines, which is good. I'm glad that left me a little room to work with. The whole purpose of the 1205 is to raise that runner up. Now, let's take a look at what we got right here. Let me see if I can play with the light a little bit. Alright, look at that big pile of metal right in the center where the trenches are dug. There and there, and then I got the one on the wall. So, by getting all the trenches done, now the next step is going to be going in there with a big burr, which I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this big monster. Now, it can't get the sides, but if I can take the bulk chunk out with that and then go in with some smaller flames or even some eggs to pull it down, but this is going to be the next one that we use. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting the trenches, digging them on the roofs. And I'm going to also pull this line to scribe while I'm at it with the finger, which would be here, here, come up here, and pull that in. And then we're going to come back with one of my favorites, this big whopper flame double cross cut, and grind all them in and pull all that down and try to shape it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this ball game going and try to get all the raw material removed so we can stab them tubes. I did get the valve guides, got them today, so pretty much got everything we got to do now to finish it. I'm just very glad that I spotted that. I hate them kind of guides. I've had a lot of problems with them coming unsprung and uncoiled and improper clearances. That's a tremendous amount of work that I've done to Mr. Imhoff's head to have a 30-cent valve guide in there. But you know, that's what a lot of people use for years, and there you go. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and finish the roof trench. I showed you how I did that, and then we'll come back and begin raw material removal. Oh Lord, this was a mess. Alright, the roof depth is set and the sides are set. Now let's see how we go about straightening this mess out. We use one of my personal favorites, a double cross-cut flame. Now the trick is to get where you can see it. It's not so easy, but let me see what I can get in the viewfinder there. Alright, you just take it. You just gotta sit here and whittle at it on the bulge part. Alright, see how you can tell that it's already starting to come down. The bulge is starting to go away. Now, I'm going to give you another few seconds on the side, and then basically we do the same thing to the roof. By doing it like this, it pulls it down and gets the humps close to level with the trenches. Now, this can't go in there and do any type of tuning at all. It's just removing the bulk metal so that I can go in there with an egg or whatever shape I want to use and really pull it in and blend it. I mean, this just takes the massive amount out of it so that I can work with it. Now, let's see if I can get you a view so you can see how I take it out of the roof. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'll try. The only way I'm going to be able to do this is to put my hands around the tripod, and that way I can keep them out. Let's see what I can do. See, I'm just staying right on top. Alright, it's leveling it, it's pulling it down. Alright, now let's try to get you a shot back so you can see the difference. Now, I think you get the picture. Look how on the straight wall side, Look how much more of a hump here compared to this side. Now the roof's going to be a little bit harder because the reflection, let me see if I can pull some light out of it. Okay, that seems to be a little bit better anyway. But you can tell, good Lord, especially right here, that big egg pulled that whole wall out. And then the egg went in here and took that big chunk out. You don't want to go in there and hold that big burr very long. You see, I didn't take very long. I will use it a little more to touch it. Because, good Lord, you can bust through here so easy. It just takes the hills and the big stuff so I can go in there with a much smaller egg and flame to complete it. Alright, I'm going to stop for now until we switch to the smaller burrs and I'll show you how I pull that in.